Honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better season premiere than the iconic opener of House of the Dragon Season 3. Now, we know that the cast and showrunners weren't kidding when they said that the first episode would be like nothing we have ever seen before. After a sluggish second season that played the waiting game a bit too long, we finally have the Targaryen Civil War in full flow, and it has already become very clear that there wouldn't be any decisive winner in this conflict. I think we can all agree that the highlight of the episode is the Battle of the Gullet, where we see the Sea Snake, aka Corlys Velaryon, mastering his naval troops against the Triarchy led by Sharako Lohar. But the real twist comes at the end of the episode with a few major death sequences and the mysterious disappearance of Sea Snake, which has prompted many to wonder if Corlys Velaryon is still alive. In this video, I will dissect the circumstances of his disappearance after the battle and what it might mean for the future of the show. There will be some major spoilers along the way, so you have been warned. What happened to Corlys Velaryon in the Battle of the Gullet? First things first, I haven't seen a more spectacular naval battle in television history, and that is saying something. The Battle of the Gullet doesn't take shortcuts, and it all plays out just how it is supposed to. We witnessed the chaos and violence of a battle as the forces from opposing camps hit each other with everything they have got. The beginning of a battle is also somewhat unexpected, as Corlys Velaryon tries to make amends with his bastard son Alan, and the alarms suddenly go off about enemy ships at a distance. They find out that they are outnumbered by the Triarchy, and Corlys knows that he has to manage his fleet with strategy in order to have a chance against the enemy. The first thing he does is send a raven to Rhaenyra to inform her about the situation, because surely nothing beats overwhelming naval forces better than a few dragons in the airspace. What follows next is complete mayhem as Corlys' fleet faces off against the Triarchy and Lannister forces. Lohar is a ruthless commander, and she is keen on getting revenge against Corlys for killing many of her mates over the years. It is her free-spirited pirate-like fighting style against the trained forces of Corlys, and initially, she seems to have the edge in the battle. Corlys orders his ship to be headed straight for the Triarchy flagship carrying Lohar, and she is keen to pursue this one-on-one as well, even though Tywin Lannister advises otherwise. But before they can have a final showdown, Jace and Baela join the battles on their dragons, Vermax and Moondancer, and it is a straight flashback to the time when Daenerys torched enemy fleets with her dragons in Game of Thrones. Meanwhile, Corlys tries to lure Lohar into a trap as he leads his ship through a narrow and dangerous pass without the high tide backing the ship. He knows the terrain like the back of his hand, but his enemies don't, and Lohar loses a couple of her ships in pursuit. But her ship is still able to catch up to Corlys's, and she rams it straight into his ship. It is time for another bout of crazy action, and this time it is even more perilous because the ships are both damaged and falling apart. The Sea Snake and Lohar take a few swings at each other, while also slaughtering each other's men. But eventually, the ships are too damaged, and Corlys is knocked into the water. When Alan sees Lohar hanging to the sinking deck, he doesn't see any signs of his father, and he probably assumes the worst. In great fury, he jumps into the water, and after a fierce duel, he stabs her to death. Alan is able to stumble back onto the deck to check the wreckage, but Corlys Velaryon is nowhere to be seen. Is he really dead? Well, we all know how important the Sea Snake is for Rhaenyra and her battle plans. The Battle of the Gullet has already taken a huge toll on her, as her son Jace and his dragon Vermax are dead. If Corlys Velaryon is dead as well, then the victory wouldn't be worth anything, because the losses would be far too high. Now, speaking purely in terms of logic, the odds wouldn't be stacked in favor of the Sea Snake, because he is weary and gets knocked into the water rather unexpectedly. The heavy armor and battle gear doesn't make it any easier to swim, and more importantly, one might just be knocked unconscious in such situations, making survival nearly impossible. If you consider the weight of a medieval metal armor, it would easily be around 40 to 60 pounds, and I don't know too many people who would be able to swim with such weight. Also, in the heat of battle, it is not very likely that Alan will be able to arrange for a search party immediately to rescue his father, but we all know that nothing is stronger than plot armor, and Corlys Velaryon isn't called the Sea Snake for nothing. There's to saying that the men who have survived long enough to grow old in a world where people die young are the real warriors. And Corlys Velaryon has probably survived many such brutal naval battles in his life, so you can rest assured that he finds a way to survive against all odds stacked against him. His survival will turn out to be a critical turning point for Team Black to regain some command over the course of the battle, and I don't see that changing irrespective of what the cliffhanger ending might suggest. Firstly, there are many other scenes of him from the trailer of House of a Dragon Season 3 that we haven't seen yet in the first episode, and this is the biggest confirmation that his story arc is far from over. Also, the book nerds will know that Corlys doesn't die in the Battle of the Gullet in Fire and Blood. I know the show doesn't always stick to the source material, but this would be too big and unnecessary a change to make. In fact, I remember this haunting quote from Corlys in the aftermath of the battle, where he says, "If this be victory, I pray I never win another." I think nothing can sum up the futility of a Targaryen Civil War better than this statement, because there will be no winner when loved ones fall. Another major giveaway is the fact that you can see the sea snake in a blink and you miss sequence in the trailer for the upcoming episodes, where it seems like he has washed up ashore. So he is very much alive, and he still has a major role to play in the series going ahead. We have all watched and admired Steve Toussaint's impressive performance as the sea snake, and there is no way that the makers will deprive the viewers of his character so quickly. But I wonder who will be the one to rescue him. I mean, surely Alan is probably the closest, but how much can he do in his weary state without active manpower? It would be pretty cool if Adam or Hull pulls off a miracle rescue after he spots his father while scouting the wreckage on his dragon Sea Smoke. He might be the one who jumps in to pull Corlys up, and that's what you see next as he regains consciousness on shore. Of course, he can drift ashore as well, and his years of training might be what enables him to survive. But the main deal here is that I have no doubt about his survival, but only how he survives and who rescues him. What will his story be like going forward? The man has lost a lot already, from the death of his wife to his heir to Driftmark, and now the death of another grandson would only add to his agony. The third season will probably dwell heavily on how he handles his relationship with his bastard sons, Alan and Adam. He is a repenting father who is accepting of his mistakes, and I think this might be the perfect time to rebuild the burned bridges. Of course, it goes without saying that both Alan and Adam would have key roles to play in the battle, and Adam is all the more important as one of the dragon seeds. It is worth considering that while he might survive the incident, Corlys' whole character arc will probably be defined as the consequence of his emotional wreckage. The man will come to his senses to find out that his grandson and heir, Jacaerys, is dead, and we will probably see a more motivated and determined hand to Rhaenyra as he turns the course of a battle with his strategies. After such an eventful season premiere, I cannot wait for the next episode because there is still so much to uncover. As of now, you can rest easy about Corlys Velaryon being alive, but if you have read the book, you already know that the season will bring in some major character deaths, whether you like it or not. The Battle of the Gullet might be won, but the real battle is still raging, and it will only end with some major losses from both sides that will eventually shape the future of House Targaryen. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this action-packed first episode and the disappearance of a sea snake. Also, if you appreciate the efforts to bring you this content, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos.